you can't take too much time, but it's early enough where you can act and still grab some good inventory. It's still early. I don't want people to think they got to panic and jump over, over hurdles to make things happen. There's inventory on many price points. Some of the very good options have been rented, but my team and I are still putting, things together. There's still off market opportunity. So if you know agents and someone that may be not officially out there, but that's still coming about to the market where those are who are thinking about renting are bringing their properties to the marketplace. But now is the time. It really starts for us in January, sometime around the middle to late, depending on the weather. By now, during February break in the winter recess, it's really ramping up. So it's something that you need to move on, but a good amount. And you can go whether you're east or west of the canal. We have a good amount to connect you with.
Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, I want to talk a little about Montauk, because Montauk is the thing over the last 10 years has really changed. I mean, I was going out there as a kid, and but I mean, even really has become a full year with the new restaurants and then new scene. Tell me about what's going on with the neighborhoods in Montauk.
Sure. So I can tell you, I have firsthand experience with Montauk too. I probably saw you maybe as a kid. Who knows? We ran past each other. I remember Montauk from the 70s. So we're talking way back. I spent my summers there as a kid. My dad was actually building back in the day throughout Montauk, and I used to hate it because I would be taken from, my friends from up west. The middle, school ended and you're heading out to Montauk. Little did I realize how blessed I was to be out there in the 70s and 80s and spending my summers there amongst this amazing place. So I've seen the change, the before and after. No one back then, I thought my dad actually, honestly, was a little crazy. I was actually mad to have to make that, that schlep from all the way up west back then. Now I look back and go, wow, how lucky we were to be running around. I can remember, I don't want to show my age here, but Montauk Manor, when I was a kid, was abandoned. Wow. So we used to run around up there, up in that part of Montauk by the manor. And it was keep out, big fences. It was
that place still scares me. And right now, so out of all these years.
Yeah, it's amazing. So that place there, when I was a kid, had the keep out signs everywhere. And we used to, ride our bikes. We used to go up the hill. We used to climb over the fence. We used to walk around. And it was scary. It looked like a haunted house. Thankfully, it's been redeveloped and renewed, brought back to life. So I share that boring story with my kids. They say, yeah, Dad, I've heard it a million times. So we've seen the changes and the revitalization and the demand. I don't think anybody would have thought years ago it would be where it is today. The numbers are skyrocketed. It's unfortunately pushed a lot of people, that have been there for many, many, many years out of there. They're super positive things, but there are negative things. People have a hard time dealing with traffic and the overabundance of traffic flow of tourists and people that visit during a certain time of year like July 4th. And it's great to have everyone. I just don't think it's fully equipped to accommodate, the amount. So there are people that love it.
I mean, of course not. For people who don't know, and you see things on TV, it's a single lane. So you're talking about a good bulk of the end of Long Island, one lane. That is, really...
It is crazy when you think about it because, you have Old Montauk Highway and then you're coming in two ways. I love Old Montauk Highway because I love the hills.
My girls love the hills up and down.
And the view. Yeah.
Sure.
So, we used to bike there. And as a kid, I learned to drive on that road. But the before and after, no one could have seen. I remember when they had the Montauk movie theater. People don't even know there was a movie theater.
Yeah, that's by the ballpark. Correct.
Yeah. So, that area there was originally, it was a single movie theater, and I'm correct. I think it was a double, but I remember it as a real single theater at that time. But that now it's the bike shop. But yeah, a lot of changes. But I love Montauk. I mean, I have a long history there.
What I love is the connection between the people in Manhattan and the people out there. When you connect with friends, and it's one of those things where I've had other friends from New England. Either you get it or you don't. You could tell in a second if someone gets it and appreciates it.
Sure. You have to. That's the trade-off, and you have to be ready for that. It's like for me when I go into New York City, and I like to drive. I'll drive in. I'm not a big fan of always jumping on a train or the Hampton Jitney, which is fine. That's one way to go. But I like to drive, but I know what I'm getting into. So that balance you have to be ready for. I know when I want to go out to Gosman's and I want to walk around and I want to see the sights and just walk around downtown. You got to be ready to find your space, deal with the traffic. But that's the beauty, that you have to embrace that. And be ready for that, because that's what comes with living, in that part of the world. Not for everyone. I do have a lot of clients that are leaving and moving west of the canal, because for them, the importance of that lifestyle shouldn't, for them, not for everyone. They don't want to be in the car. They want to be at the beach. So I have a lot of people transitioning from out east, still loving the Hamptons, but they want to be closer west.
Right.
So it's a lifestyle choice.
And there is that, because the difference between going from Route 111, the exit, to West Hampton versus East Hampton is an hour or more. It's terrible. It's an hour more. I mean, which tells a little bit about, I know there's been so much culture that has gone on in West Hampton, specifically the whole town and the cultural center.
Complete revitalization in the sense of Main Street. We have the sewers in there. What you used to remember Main Street in West Hampton is now widened. Beautiful tree-lined streets. We've always had that, but now we have the pedestrian walkways, the wider. We have the rotary now towards Chase Bank and my office towards that part. So it's a lot easier to navigate than it was before. It's been a long time coming. They've added the sewers, which have helped, that part, the restaurants and that theater district there. It's brought to life that whole area. I think it's amazing. It's a great look. We still have great places to go. There is a good, downtown West Hampton, Main Street is all year round. The Beach Bakery is still there. It's open all year long. A lot of great places to go. But it has a facelift and much needed. Thankfully, it's here.
And think about it, that's really probably the boating capital of the whole Hamptons, having the water right there and the beaches. I mean, that's fantastic. You're 5 minutes from all of Dune Road.
The beauty of that is, people don't realize how close you really are. You are the bike ride away, walking from Dune Road over that bridge into town, or taking the bike, or however. It's a short car ride away, but you are on that ocean right there. Unlike our neighbors further east, you don't have that accessibility. You're absolutely right. There's spots to drop the boat right there and then walk into town. So even the boaters that are coming in from the ocean further east through the canal into the bay, come in and park that boat, and then walk into town. We have that ability, similar to Sag Harbor, but on another level.
On another level, because Sag Harbor's, you don't have a beach. You still have to get. That's a great village. I think that's probably my favorite village.
Sure.
Yeah. But I think if I had to say, Sag Harbor's my favorite village.
Sure.
The restaurants and walking around.
Sure.
It's nice.
Sure.
That's another.
Sure.
That's another thing I want to say about the whole Hamptons thing is these communities are so diverse. Where Southampton is nothing like Amagansett, and Bridgehampton is nothing like, East Hampton. They're just different, and there's all their own following.
They do. They all bring something different, and then it's really based on the lifestyle that you expect to have during that time period that you're out here. So it's really addressing those, those questions. Where do you want to be? What's important to you? How close do you want to be to points west? or you want a more artsy feel and vibe, more restaurants, so it really, as a buyer or an investor or someone spending summer, these are questions you need to ask. I love all of them. I serve all of them. I know I pick and choose when I'm traveling to certain areas. I know how to navigate um, certain, and in due time, you'll figure that out. So people will learn the back
Mhm.
roads pretty quick. Yeah.
You got to stay. You can't be coming east on a Friday. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, no. And if so, you got to pick and choose your time. I mean, the times have changed. Years ago, we used to be able to come out on a Friday, get there Friday night, and then leave Sunday. I do have certain clients that actually come out on Thursday and then they leave on Saturday or stay till Tuesday. So they've learned to adapt their lifestyle to make it work. But
Sure.
again, I mean, where else do you want to be but here in the
And
summer?
that, think about it, between COVID making it a need to be home, but look at broadband and Wi-Fi. That, I was married in East Hampton in 2005. That was not available. There was no broadband. There
Sure.
was no Wi-Fi. You had to go back to an office on Monday morning.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now you don't.
Yeah, no, it's come a long way, thank God. We still, as we know, I've had that experience today. I don't know why I have all days. I mean, we did have snow out here, but that shouldn't affect my Wi-Fi. There are pockets that are challenging. Um, Certain areas I head out to in Sag on Noyak Road, I lose reception and
Yeah, that's a terrible
certain parts
spot,
of
right?
East Hampton. That's frustrating, but thank God for boosters and things to help
Mhm.
connect us.
Yeah, well, I think I'm happy to participate with you in this video interview series, and we're going to get to know more
Sure.
about Robert. One of the key components is we're put together the series. Robert will select an audience. We'll put this on his social media, and we'll share the opportunity for video interviews and the chance to promote your business locally. And I mean, look how important, Robert. I think you'll agree. Supporting local business and uh, putting those trades and those people. I mean, that's a big thing. The right contractors, and speak a little bit about contractors in the Hamptons. They have a unique relationship.
Sure. So I have a rule that at least I operate within my business. I usually, for me, referrals are everything. Whether you refer me the client, the buyer, um, I'm the same way when it comes to my service providers. I have a lot of people that come in and drop off cards, but I usually like to know their business in the sense of they come highly recommended. So, you got to be careful. You got to know who you're hiring. But I usually use the word of mouth to me, whether it's pool people, any of the mechanics, I usually ask for a referral, just like anyone would do in the service business.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that you don't know them. It's you have to know what you're getting into. I have been around a long time. I have a strong book of business, so I have my go-to people, ready, and I will not share them unless I know their business. I know they come highly recommended. They do the right thing. I won't open it up to my clientele unless I know, how they operate, because that's a big deal to me and my relationship with my client
Oh,
and
that's
or
big.
friends.
That's everything.
It's like,
How many horror stories have you heard? People didn't get things. It's
you
constant,
know,
right?
that's the thing. It's like buyer beware. Um, it's like having someone show up without the right tools. And, if you're in that field of business, should really come up with, you should be here in a pump truck or whatever it is you're bringing to, your trade. You got to be careful on who you're hiring. I mean, there's a lot of great people, a lot of great service people, um, and they do quality work, and it should be known. But I always ask people, better to know someone who's used, XYZ,
Sure.
company or whatever it is, and that's half the battle.
I always would say, man, you're crazy for doing a bad job out there, because if you do a good job, you're just celebrated. I mean, you're gold by doing a good job. I
You
always
really are.
thought
Word of mouth
it's
is
crazy to
everything.
do a bad job.
Without a doubt. That's everything. I always say, you know, that's why I love it. You refer me someone, it's a big deal. I hold it in the palm of my hand. I don't take it lightly. I see it from start to finish, just like anyone else should within their business. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. So, you need to know who you're calling. It's like what I tell my wife: do not pick up the yellow pages ever. There's no reason to. No offense to the yellow pages. Point being, in our business, trust me, I have everyone that you need to know about. Or at least if we don't, we'll find that
You
person
should. And
that
I'll tell you, I
comes
get
highly
disappointed.
recommended,
I
without a
get
doubt.
disappointed when I see on Facebook agents asking for, oh, you have a painter. You don't have a painter?
Yeah,
You
I
don't have an
know.
external? I mean, how?
Oh my God.
How?
I have 5 of them, and I'll give you 5 references and 5 options. Pick who fits, your best, the best job that works for you, who you want. But you're going to get a handful. I don't just give 1 out, 2 out. I'll give a handful and pick and choose who you want.
Right.
So,
And could you tell us anything about the new construction? I know a few of the names, and how do you discern between the higher levels and of the new construction models?
so
And
as far as that goes, it's at the end of the day, it's coming down to your amenities. You have to be smart, do your homework. Um, if you're not connecting with a broker, who's connecting with you on that build? If you're out there as a buyer, hopefully you have representation or working with someone, or you have a trusted advisor, friend. Know who's building the house. Ask those questions. Today, a lot of the driving force is not always about how big the house is, but the amenities. What are the ingredients going in to the build? What are you looking to accomplish? How does that work for you in the long term? What's your end game? What are you getting into? How long has this person been in business? A lot of the builders today, they're using very similar, finishes, and they're great builders and great finishes. There are multi levels. You know, the thing that we do out here that I see from a lot of people up west come out and they say, well, what's the price per square foot? And we don't
mm,
operate that way in particular, where you can just say, well, this house is 2,000 square feet. We expect it to be this. Can't put everybody in that box. That formula doesn't work, because finishes are important. Size is one thing, bedroom
location.
counts, bathroom count, finishes, pool, tennis, the configuration of the angles of the sun, the position east, west, south, north. These are all angles and things that need to be addressed.
And even
So you can't
landscaping.
just
I know
say,
landscaping's a big thing.
so
Curb
many
appeal.
great landscape designers and builders that are using top-notch guys, and there are many, and there's someone for everyone's budget, and that matters. Again, you're not just, you can buy the house, you can buy the land, you can tailor your build, you can have your budget. Right now, because of COVID, the big challenge is having, getting the price where you need within your budget. A lot of people have seen a surge, and I know you're seeing it up west, in the cost of goods and services. It's quite unfortunate. Hopefully that will ease. But you might have thought 3 years ago you can spend 400 to 500 a square foot, as a budget, but now you're spending 7 to 8 to 9 for a similar product, and that cost of services and lack of people to do the to make the product. So we have those challenges.
Yeah. It is going to be a shift. I know it's been so much equity. I was a part of the 2008, 2012 when it was the bust and then the boom. And I never thought people were going to regain what they lost, but they really did by 2014. It was back just about where it was.
Sure,
That surprised me.
absolutely, it has. Hopefully that I'd much rather have the normal market, or something that we can get some sense of normalcy. I certainly don't want to see people falling ill and being sick, and us have to walk around and have these masks and all that. Normal market, to be able to read, to be able to comp, to be able to service with an idea we know how to navigate. Fortunately, we still don't have that clarity, although we have, thank God, the calmness of, you know, the end of the road, hopefully sometime soon with the this pandemic. But prices have helped many people on sales and transactions where we've seen some record sales out here. So some are complaining, some aren't. But again, I'd rather have the normal market any day of the year.
Sure. It's that's more stable than this. Well, I thank you, Robert. We're going to be doing this all year, you and me. We're going to
Sounds great.
really magnify your exposure. We're going to give you and I a nice conversation. We'll also invite some of your chosen people who you think represent the community, whether it's people in the culture, museum, or builder, or specific vendor, or someone that you might be in education. Whatever's great. I want to hear more. Maybe
Sure.
bring someone in from the Nature Conservancy. Anything to positively affect our community and our audience.
Without a doubt, I have a lot of great people I'd love to bring out to light and have on with you guys to discuss. There's so much going on here. I'd love to be part of it and see what we can do to help educate everyone on what really goes on here, because it's a lot of amazing, beautiful things and talented people that I don't think get enough credit. No,
we can, and we need a powerful influencer like yourself. And maybe you could even get me a table at 75 Main at some point.
I can pretty much guarantee you can have the table that you need.
I'm looking forward to that. Okay,
anytime.
Robert. Have a great weekend. I'll bug you soon.
You too. My pleasure. Have a good day. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.